Okay, open it up, right? Thursday night football. It's a fast turnaround. Good meetings today, a chance to kind of flush some stuff out of the system from the game yesterday and quickly talk about some of the dynamics from the game, flush that out, digest it in, get us ready for this week. All eyes are on the Bears. Had a good practice, good walkthrough session today. Thought the focus was what it needed to be.
Frank, you're about next man up, but given the quick turnaround and how many injuries you've suffered on defense the last 2 weeks, how do you kind of reshape the roster with the amount of, functions you have?
Yeah, there was a good bit of time this morning, with Scott and EJ and then we'll sit down again here in a little bit. Look at those things. This morning when we sat down, Mike, we still had some MRI scheduled, still waiting on the results of some things. And we do have a meeting here in about another hour or so to kind of get some final reports on things. But hey, a credit to EJ and the defensive staff for how they've moved those guys around, got them playing good football. So we'll continue to do that. We'll work with the guys we got. Every man's got to be ready to go. So I know they'll be ready.
How close is Marquise?
He's getting close. He's getting really close.
When you went back and watched the tape, were the pick sixes kind of what you thought they were going to be, or something else?
I did. I mean, it's just the pick sixes it's that, 1 in a million game where you got 2 of them in a game. And, it's unfortunate that, the plays, Kenny Moore makes 2 good plays. We got to find ways to avoid both those things, right? I mean, the one, in the 2-minute drive, kind of our first read wasn't there, so we're progressing backside. And Bryce is super quick and super accurate at getting the ball out, and Kenny just played it right and undercut it. Second one was a screen pass. They had it covered, and, the screen pass is covered. Quarterbacks know we just got to dirt that. We just got to dirt that. So we learn from that, and we move on.
Frank, you indicated yesterday that the lessons from a game like that can be valuable for a young quarterback. How do you as a coach help him through that and help him make it a valuable lesson?
I think 2 things. One, just continue to display the confidence, the authentic confidence that we have in him. Secondly, having been around the block a few times and having, as I mentioned to you guys yesterday, seen this happen to the best quarterbacks who've ever played this game. I don't expect that to make him feel better in the moment. I do hope that in the big picture, it can give him some perspective and in some very, very, very small way help him move past it and understand it's just part of being the guy. Week in and week out, you are under the gun there, and there's no place to hide. And that's what we all love about it, and I believe that's what he loves about it. He's a competitor, and he's very resilient, and I know he's looking forward to getting back out there on Thursday.
Frank, are you guys signing Blake Martinez? There was a report to that effect.
We are bringing him in. Everything checks out. Looks like we'll sign him to our practice squad. We got some from EJ. He knows our defensive system. A couple of our coaches have worked with Blake before. So obviously with some of our injuries, we'll take a look at that and see if that goes through. Get him on the practice squad and see where it goes from there.
Were you at his workout recently?
I was.
What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought he looked good. I mean, the guys play a lot of great football. He's played a lot of great football. Thought he looked good in his workout, and so it'd be good to get him in here.
You mentioned yesterday it'd be tough to get Brian on the field with the concussion protocol for Thursday. He's obviously your best player. What do you lose if you don't have him out there? It's like replacing more than one player, or what?
I mean, like you said, Dave, he's our best player. He's a beast. So we'll miss him, but it's next man up. And like you said, I mean, I'm not even thinking there's any chance of getting him. Honestly, I mean, I don't. Even if he were, there's a part of me like I can't imagine letting him out there, even if he wanted to go out there. So, yeah, it'll be next man up. I mean, this has happened many times. We move on.
You had two.
I'm sorry. I would imagine there's going to be clarity later in the week, but for now, preparing for the Bears quarterback when they're 2 very different players, what kind of challenge is that?
Yeah, I think the challenge this week is we probably won't get clarity till game time. That's the unique thing of a Thursday, of a Thursday game, because the injury reports are kind of projected, and I mean, they're honest injury reports, but since you're not going full speed, I guess you don't really always know. But we've talked about that. We'll prepare for both, and and we'll adjust accordingly as we see how it unfolds and who plays.
The injury issues, you had two pretty young guys step up in the secondary, DiCaprio and Cook. How did they perform, and do you see them kind of having bigger roles moving forward?
Yeah, they performed well. Boodle really did a good job. Cook also made some big plays. Young players getting an opportunity, making the most of it so that they're prepared. If it needs to be a longer role in that position, great. If it ends up they move back to a backup role, that just makes our team stronger. So credit to them for being ready and getting ready to go.
Right, can you talk about this week, how critical it is getting off to a fast start? That's been something that he's been needing.
I was actually just talking about that with one of our players. Just talking. Our practices have been so good. Listen, we know what a good practice week looks like, and the last couple have been, they've been progressively getting better, and the last couple have been really, really good. And we need to carry that more consistently over to the game, and that starts with how we start the game off. And that's what we were just talking with one of the guys. We need to start one of these games off hot. Jump out to it, like we did against Miami. We just. We need that. We need that on a more consistent basis. So I believe that's coming. I believe that, because of how good practices have been, we'll carry that execution. And, this week, we started the game, we had 3 crucial penalties that killed us, in the first quarter. I was sitting there, and it's what I wrote down. After the first quarter, 3 crucial penalties in that first quarter that held us back from getting a fast start. So we got to clean those things up.
Do you anticipate any changes, at least to the offensive line or to the way you guys use the running game?
Probably not, in a short week. We probably not on a short week. Yeah.
It's unusual situation where you traded your first round draft pick to the Bears, any added incentive to beat them. So it's not a number 1 overall pick, or is that playing into your? I know you got other things on your mind.
An interesting question, but I guess this is good. I had not even thought about that. You know what I mean? This is just about trying to win the next football game. One of the things I said to the guys today is, sometimes when you get in this position, you wish you could. You look back and you say, you want to change some things that have happened. You wish that somehow you could double down. Hey, let's put it all in this one game. Let's double down on everything, right? Get it all back. But that's not real life. That's not real life in the NFL. That's not real life, period. You got to take them one at a time. So this is our mentality, and I've said this before earlier, no matter what our record would be right now, if we're doing it the right way, if our process is the right way, we will take these week by week. If it's a boxing match, it's round by round. Let's just try to win this next round. So that's going to be our mentality. Get all the other distractions out.
On that, Frank, and you've discussed this earlier this year, but weighing winning versus developing, particularly Bryce, but everybody, has that been a hard line for you to walk this year?
No, we understand, every coach and every player understands that we're really measured by both. Winning is primarily what you're measured by, but I think I think it's also development. When people see, when fans see, when the organization sees, when the owner sees, hey, okay, I want results now. Well, I'm not quite getting the results, but are we moving in the right direction? Are we making progress? That's the development that you're talking about, Joe. So, and I think as a coach and as a player, that's always in play all the time. So that's what we're trying to do. Both are incredibly important.
David, when you guys made the deal with Chicago for the top pick, you said all along Bryce was your guy all along. Even back then, were there certain things that you said he's got to have to succeed this year, and can you share what that might be?
No, interesting question. You just look to build a team. and it starts with your quarterback, and he's our guy. And so, and then, you know, we have a blueprint in our mind of how we build that team. Scott and I have talked about that many times. You know, what are the pieces? You know, you have, you know, and on offense and defense, there are, you know, more, you know, positions, the value positions, you know, that you're trying to get your best players in value position, and then filling out the roster from there. So we want to stick to that blueprint. We know that some of that's going to take time. We know we're responsible for progress and results in the meantime, but there is a blueprint. We're following that blueprint. And you can only go so fast. And confident with a lot of the pieces that we got here, excited about the pieces we got here, and know that we can win football games with the pieces. And that's really our mindset. Hey, the second half of the season, take it week by week and win some football games coming down the stretch.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.